morning, 8Cs, receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Miss Irma.
Thank you. You may sit down. Right, in our previous lesson, receiving students, we looked at the water cycle, right? The process of water cycle. Now, who can tell us or explain to us, all right, the process of water cycle? All right, let's have Eileen.
The sun evaporates water from the sea. This changes into clouds which bring rain to the rivers and lakes. Water escapes into the ground and flows downhill towards the sea and rivers. Rivers carry the water back to the ocean.
All right, class 8Cs and receiving students, did you hear that? All right, water cycle. The sun evaporates water from the oceans, not only from the oceans, but also from rivers and lakes or seas. All right, sun evaporates water from rivers, lakes, or oceans. All right, this condenses into visible water vapor, which is clouds, which brings rain into the land and the rivers. Now, what happens next is the water escapes into the ground, all right, or flows through the seas and rivers, and then the river carries the water back to the ocean and the cycle continues. And also, plants, they also release water vapor. Plants release water vapor, which is known as, so it is called transpiration from plants, right? Plants release water vapor into the atmosphere, right? So that's the cycle or the process of water cycle which continues, all right? So in our previous lesson, we looked at that, all right? Now let's just move on. Okay, we looked at irrigation. Another important use of water is irrigation. But what did we say irrigation was, class, receiving students? Caroline?
Watering of land by artificial methods.
Okay, Caroline, again, please.
Watering of land by artificial methods.
All right, watering of land, all right, by artificial methods. All right, later we'll go back to this. Okay, let's have a look at an example here. All right. Right here it reads, irrigation requires a method of transporting water from the supply source to a farm. Receiving students, we need water for irrigation to raise crops in regions or places that do not get enough rain. So irrigation is a method of transporting water, all right, from a source, a supply source that supplies water to a farm or place where there is not enough water there. Right? So the water comes from rivers or lakes or seas. Water comes from rivers, lakes, or seas, or even wells. Water comes from there and then it is supplied, or it goes to the place, the area where needs water. All right, class, receiving students. right, class? Okay, we'll just go to the diagram, not the diagram, but the picture of irrigation taking place. All right, class? Let's see. All right, everyone look up here. 8Cs receiving students. Right, it says here, irrigation canal carries water through deserts to farms. So here, this is the canal, all right? Canal in which the water flows through. Now, water from the supply source, for example, rivers or lakes. Now, this area, let's say this is the farm, all right? The farm or the dry area where rain doesn't, they don't experience rain, which the place is dry. So in order for them to raise crops, irrigation takes place. The water runs from runs through the canal to the farm. All right? Class, are you looking up here, 8Cs? So this is the canal in which the water flows through to that farm or to the area. So transporting of water. Irrigation is transporting of water to from the supply source to a dry land or farm. So irrigation also in other countries, they use irrigation to raise their crops, all right, water their plants or their crops in order for their crops to grow. So irrigation is one way of, what did we say irrigation was? One way of using water, okay? Importance of, we also use water for irrigation, okay? Now class, all right, it says water is the only substance on earth that is naturally present in 3 different forms. All right, water is present in liquid. All right, water is present as solid, ice, and water is present as gas in water vapor. All right, water vapor. So water is present in these 3 forms, receiving students: liquid, solid, and gas. Let's move on. 8Cs. All right, has anyone heard of this word? Reservoir. Reservoir. Has anyone heard of this word? Reservoir. Receiving students? Hands up if you've heard of this word. Okay, good. 1 person. Class. A reservoir. A reservoir. All right, what is a reservoir? Okay. Maybe this may be new word to you. Right, let's look at the definition of what is a reservoir. All right, a reservoir, it says, it means a large tank or natural or artificial lake, right, that is used for collecting and storing water, maybe for human consumption or agricultural use. A large tank or natural or artificial lake that is used for collecting and storing water. All right, next. All right, who knows what a dam is? A dam. Does anyone know what a dam is? Receiving students, D-A-M. All right. What is a dam? Class? All right, any idea, class? You know what a dam is? All right, a dam is what? All right, a barrier of concrete or earth that is built across a river or stream to obstruct or control the flow of water, especially in order to create a reservoir. Right, again, a barrier of concrete or earth that is built across a river or stream to obstruct or to control the flow of water, especially in order to create a reservoir. Right, once you copy that one down, then we'll go through these words here. right, some of the uses of water, we already mentioned irrigation. And what do we also use water for? Producing electricity. We use the running water from the streams, from the rivers or waterfalls to produce electricity. All right, there are many ways of producing electricity. One way is through, what's the word? Hydroelectricity. Receiving students, thank you. Okay, everyone look up here. Okay, we looked at these two words, dam and reservoir. All right, what do we call this here? What's this here? This concrete here built across, okay? That's the dam, all right? This is the dam, all right? Here in the middle, what do we have? The reservoir, all right? The dam, okay? And we have in the middle here, we have the reservoir, right? The artificial lake, man-made lake, all right? That stores water, okay? That stores water, all right? Now this is an example of a dam. Now this dam, sorry, not a dam, but what did I say? Oh dear. Okay, yeah, an example of a dam, all right, with a reservoir, creating a reservoir here. Now hydroelectricity, Browner, which is here in, okay, here in Port Moresby, Ramu, Eastern Highlands Province, and another one, Warongoi in the Gazelle Peninsula. All right, so there are 3 large hydroelectric power stations in which they produce electricity to the following towns or provinces. All right, if you have your textbooks, 8Cs and receiving students, can you turn to page 29 of your textbook, Resources of Papua New Guinea, page 29, please. Page 29, and we'll look at how hydroelectricity works. All right, class, on page 29, or you can also look up here, how hydroelectricity works. All right, we have a dam. A dam stores water in a large reservoir above the power station, okay? Falling water from where? Where do we get the falling water from? Okay, yeah, from the river, but from the dam or from the reservoir, okay? The reservoir, all right, drives the blades of a water turbine to produce the mechanical energy required to drive the generators, right? I'll explain to you here. Right, you finished copying? Class, those of you finish, please copy from your friends. Copy from your friends if you haven't finished. Or if you want the notes from me, you'll come and see me, okay? And get the notes from me, please. Okay, let's move on. All right, these generators, they convert or change the mechanical energy to electrical energy. All right, when you finish copying, once you finish copying, I'd like you to look up here, everyone, HCs and receiving students. Okay. All right, everyone look up here. All right, this is how hydroelectricity works. Now we have the dam here, all right? Everyone look up here. Okay, we have the dam, all right, dam which stores water, or let's say the reservoir. Okay, water in a large reservoir above the power station, all right? So this is where the water inlet, or where water flows through, right? Water flows through from the reservoir, okay? From the reservoir down to the turbine, or water turbine, all right? Which moves in order to start the generator. Everyone looking up here? Okay. What does it say? Falling water drives the blades of a turbine, a water turbine, to produce the mechanical energy required to drive the generators. All right. Once that has been done, okay, it says these generators, all right, they change the mechanical energy into what type of energy? Electrical energy, and which produces electricity. All right. So from the dam, from the reservoir, all right, flows into the water inlet, all right, down to the turbine, which moves, all right, it drives the turbine, and then in order to start the generator. So generator changes the mechanical energy into electricity or electrical energy, and that's how we have electricity. So used water goes back into the sea, or into the, not sea, but into the river. All right? So on page, if you read page 29, it will clearly give you an understanding, or you read through and you understand, you'll understand how hydroelectricity works. All right? I'd like you to quickly do this exercise. It's also on page 30, I think, of your textbook. Yes? Page 30 or 31? All right. Right? Look up here. All right, using this from the words in the list below, you fill in the blanks. You have your textbooks, it's also on page 31. All right, from these words here, I'd like you to fill in the blanks here. All right? Can we do that now, HCs and receiving students? Okay, again from these words here, you look at these words and you fill in the blanks. Alright? Page 32, not 31. Page 32. Okay. All right, so from the words in the list, you were asked to fill in the blanks. Okay, number 1, can we have someone to give us the answer, please? Hydroelectric power is very important in Papua New Guinea. Would like to give us the first sentence quickly? Anyone? The high something and something mountain slopes in much of the country create a lot of something in the form of something flowing streams. Anyone? Quickly, 8Cs. Umba? The high what? Huh? From these words here, which word best fits here? The high rainfall and steep mountain slopes in much of the country create a lot of energy in the form of fast flowing streams. All right, again, the high rainfall and steep mountain slopes in much of the country create a lot of energy in the form of fast flowing streams. Okay, next sentence. Such streams can be dammed to form what of water? Reservoirs of water. Such streams can be dammed, all right, to form reservoirs of water. All right. The rock upon which the dam is built has to be strong so that the dam walls do not collapse. Water from the dam then flows rapidly down a pipeline to the it's up to the powerhouse, okay? Down a pipeline to the powerhouse. There the water drives a turbine which generates electricity, right? This is passed through transformers before it is transported by power lines, okay? Hydroelectric power is a good source of energy because it is renewable, yes, and clean. Let's say here, there's one word left here. Renewable and clean, unlike oil or coal. Oil or coal. Okay, class 8Cs. So make sure you get that 8Cs. All right, we'll end here. 8Cs, just looking through our summary of just to sum up our lesson. Michael, can you read, please? The mic, Bobby.
Energy of our fast flowing rivers can be changed into useful electricity by hydroelectric power generation.
Generators. And the last one, the last point. Naomi, please, loud and clear.
Irrigation requires a method of transporting water from the supply source to a farm.
To a farm. All right? Okay, good. All right, class, we'll stop here. Thank you, receiving students, and 8Cs for listening. Okay, in our next lesson, we will now look at the next resource. That's on forests. All right, forests. Right, our keyword for today, class, hydroelectricity. All right, hydroelectricity. I thank you, 8Cs and receiving students, for listening. Okay, thank you.